Dry leaves fall every year. Most people sweep them away. Some burn them, others throw them in bags. But those dry leaves are not waste. They are hidden treasure for your soil. Inside each leaf are nutrients your plants love. The problem is simple. Dry leaves break down very slowly. Sometimes it can take many months before they turn into compost. But there is an easy trick that gardeners use. One simple liquid can wake up the process and turn dry leaves into rich compost in just days. It sounds surprising, but it works because nature already knows how to do it. Today you will learn how to turn a pile of dry leaves into dark, rich compost faster than most people think possible. Once you see how easy it is, you may never throw away leaves again. To understand the trick, we must first understand compost. Compost is simply nature recycling itself. Leaves fall, microbes eat them, and the remains become soil again. Tiny life forms do most of this work. Bacteria and fungi break the leaves into smaller pieces. But when leaves are dry, these tiny helpers cannot work well. They need moisture, warmth, and food to wake up. Without water, microbes sleep. Without nitrogen, they move very slowly. That is why dry leaves often sit in piles for months without much change. Gardeners learned that if you feed the microbes, they wake up fast. When they wake up, the compost process begins quickly. This is where the simple liquid comes in. It gives the microbes exactly what they need to start their work right away. The secret liquid is simple. It is a mix of water and a nitrogen-rich booster. Many gardeners use diluted urine. Others use compost tea or manure tea. These liquids are full of nitrogen and living microbes. Nitrogen is like fuel for the tiny workers in compost. When you pour this mixture over dry leaves, the microbes suddenly have water and food. They begin to multiply fast. As their numbers grow, the leaves begin to break down. The pile warms up as the microbes work. Heat is a sign that composting has begun. What looked like a dry pile of leaves slowly becomes a living system. Within days you may notice the leaves getting softer, darker, and smaller. The process that once took months has now started almost overnight. The method itself is very easy. First, collect a pile of dry leaves, break them into smaller pieces if you can. Smaller pieces decompose faster. Next, place the leaves in a bin, pile, or simple corner of your yard. Now prepare the liquid mix, fill a bucket with water, add a small amount of the nitrogen booster. If you use urine, mix 1 part urine with about 10 parts water. Stir it well. This mixture is strong food for microbes. Slowly pour the liquid over the leaves. Make sure the pile becomes damp but not soaking wet. Moisture is important. But too much water can slow the process. When done right, the leaves will feel like a squeezed sponge, wet but not dripping. Once the liquid is poured, the real magic begins. The microbes start to wake up. They begin eating the carbon inside the leaves. As they eat, they produce heat. This heat helps break down the leaf fibers even faster. Within a few days, the pile may feel warm inside. That warmth means the compost engine is running. To help it work better, you can turn the pile every 2 or 3 days. Turning adds air, and microbes love oxygen. With air, moisture, and nitrogen, the system becomes very active. The leaves start to lose their dry shape. They curl, soften, and slowly collapse into darker material. The pile shrinks as the leaves break apart. What once looked like yard waste slowly turns into something much more valuable. You may also notice another change. The smell of the pile will shift. Fresh dry leaves have little smell, but when composting begins, the pile may smell earthy and rich. This is a good sign. Healthy compost smells like forest soil after rain. If the pile smells bad or sour, it may be too wet. In that case, simply mix in more dry leaves and turn the pile. Balance is the key to good compost. Carbon comes from dry leaves. Nitrogen comes from the liquid booster. Water keeps microbes alive. Air keeps them breathing. When these 4 parts work together, decomposition moves very quickly. Nature does not waste time when conditions are right. Another helpful trick is layering. Instead of making one huge pile of leaves, you can build layers like a sandwich. Start with dry leaves, pour a little of the nitrogen liquid, add another layer of leaves, pour again, repeat until the pile is built. This spreads the nutrients evenly through the stack. Microbes can then grow in many places at once. The result is faster. Compost. Some gardeners also add kitchen scraps like fruit peels or vegetable skins. These scraps add extra nitrogen and moisture, but even without them, the simple liquid trick works well. The key idea is feeding the microbes. Once they are active, the leaves will not stay dry for long. After about a week, the transformation becomes clear. The leaves look darker and feel softer. They begin to clump together like soil. At this stage, you can keep turning the pile every few days. Each turn brings fresh air into the center. More oxygen means faster composting. In warm weather, the process can move surprisingly fast. Some piles can turn into usable compost in just a few weeks instead of many months. The final compost will be dark, crumbly, and full of life. When you hold it, it feels light and soft. When you smell it, it reminds you of the forest floor. That is the sign that nature has finished its work. This rich compost is powerful for your garden. It feeds plants slowly and safely. It improves soil structure and helps soil hold water. Roots grow better in soil mixed with compost. Vegetables, flowers, and trees all benefit from it. Instead of buying bags of fertilizer, you can make your own plant food from leaves that once looked useless. This simple process turns yard waste into garden gold, and it costs almost nothing to do. Just leaves, water, and a little nitrogen to wake up the microbes. Once gardeners learn this trick, they often save every leaf they can find. So the next time you see a pile of dry leaves, think differently. Those leaves are not trash. They are future soil waiting to happen. With one simple liquid and a little patience, you can speed up nature's recycling system. In just days, the compost process begins. In weeks, you may have rich compost ready for your garden. It is simple, natural, and powerful. Nature already knows the recipe. All you have to do is pour the liquid, feed the microbes, and let them do the rest. That is the quiet magic happening inside every compost pile, and now you know how to start it.